Yoki dokie YouTubers, this is your guy, Mr. Evaluator, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be putting Batman up against Midnighter. Now, we all know what Midnighter is actually capable of. I just got done doing some research, so this guy has all kinds of superhuman power. He could read people's minds, and on top of that, with having a computer chip in his brain, basically gives him all the high-end possibilities of that character. Well, pretty much, I'm just gonna really say that he reads every possible attack that character or his opponent basically throws at him. So in this case, this guy stomps Gamora. He beats Captain America. He even beats Vandal Savage and Ra's al Ghul. Why? Because this chip in his brain allows him to see all of their planned attacks, their next attacks as he's fighting them, and visually seeing this, he can basically read their minds. So in this case, a scenario, when he's fighting his opponent, he's always thousands of steps ahead of them. Now, I don't know anything about if it said anything at him fighting somebody that's 400,000 times faster than light speed, but that's just a different topic for now. Let's put a pin in it, and then we're gonna once we get that resolved, we're gonna put Midnighter against the highest tier in the highest power tier in the comic book universe. Now, of course, like I've explained several times, what Batman is really actually capable of, and why he's capable of doing this is because he is the one and only greatest at what he do. So, if you really want to know who's going to win in this battle, Batman, okay? So, and this is the reason why I'm going to say that I am saying Batman will demolish Midnighter. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, and I'm going to say it again. 1. Batman is credited DC's one and only greatest strategist and tacticianist and hand-to-hand combatant fighter in the entire DC universe. Now, somebody having a chip in their brain and who could read minds and see all of that movement really doesn't make that person more of a wouldn't make that person the greatest fighter in their universe, because all in all, in this case of scenario, Midnighter does not need to think. He does not need to think, okay? He does not need to think. He does not need to focus or anything. So he could just basically get in a fight, and that's it. And he's gonna win regardless. So in this scenario, if he's fighting Batman or somebody, right, he already has the blueprints of that character. But here's the problem with Batman. Batman changes. He constantly changes. And his whole method of fighting, let's start with the first layer of Batman methods. Batman does not fight to attack people. He fights to create a diversion so that he can confuse them. This is the first method, bro, that's gonna run across his head. And the computer is only gonna show him the movement and what Batman is likely to do. Now, it haven't never literally said, according to the source material, that, it will give Midnighter the deep layer of, it never stated how deep he would know the fighting styles. Well, actually, what I'm trying to say is that the computer chip that's in his head would not give him the ability to actually see every little thing. I mean, he would see every little thing, but let me just get to the point. Bear with me, guys. So the thing is, when Batman used these methods, right, it's hard for you to actually see if he's really doing this to attack you or you're doing this to create a diversion. The only way the computer can actually define this is if Batman is actually doing that for a diversion. But knowing Batman, he's going to be attacking and doing the diversion at the same time, which will make the computer kind of confused at what Batman's next move will possibly be. So it will show him that Midnighter will have no other choice but to respond to Batman's attacks, because it wouldn't rather tell him if it was a diversion or if it's an attack. Okay, so it'll basically, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So the CGI, the computer chip that is pretty much in his brain will give him the possibilities of a direct attack, and it will give him a possibilities of a diversive for a or diversion, right? Or if his opponent is actually doing a direct attack or a direct diversion. But here's the case. Batman is attacking while he's using the diversion at one time. So while he's fighting Midnighter and he's performing his different styles of fighting, to let you know, he's only using the basic moves. He's actually using that for a diversion while he's attacking him. And in this case of scenario, that's what's going on in Batman's mind. Well, first of all, Batman doesn't even think when he actually does this. Batman is so good at what he does when he thinks. When he's actually fighting, he doesn't think about the actual fight unless he's actually planning a strategy to take down a big boss or somebody like Superman. But fighting people like Midnighter, who would possibly be near Batman's level, the computer chip would not be able to identify what Batman is literally actually thinking. So it would leave no other option to Midnighter but actually to respond to every attack that Batman is literally throwing at him. So this is where Batman traps his opponents. So when he actually attacks him to where he wants Midnighter to hit him, he basically takes him out. So this basically leaves Batman to win. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or comments, hit them below. This is how you evaluate the premises of each character from the Marvel, DC, and the comic universe. Peace.